Hey guys, what's going on? It's Seymour1234 here, and this is just going to be a little video that I should have done probably a year ago, or probably later on in the future. But this video is definitely was going to be made sometime in the future, so and might as well just get it over with now because probably in the future, if I don't do this video probably would never happen if something just goes on in the future. But this is a video that I'm going to be talking about something that happened in my life when I was only 15 years old. This is like a big thing for me, like that changed my life completely, changed my family's life, my friends, all that stuff. In 2015, I started my first year in high school, which was kind of a big change for me, but that's not the biggest change that happened to me in 2016. But let's just go through the story of high school. The grade 9s were just automatically going to go to high school now, like copying the states, because I believe the states does that thing as well. Like the grade 9s go to high school and the grade 6s go to junior high. So what happened was it was Halloween time, and I only ate like a little bit of candy, and then I ate Greco pizza. Then all of a sudden, like when I was going to bed, I didn't feel good. Like I felt my stomach was sore and all that stuff. So I was thinking, oh, I probably ate too much. But then I went to bed at 1 o'clock. Woke up around 2:30 in the morning, and then I constantly threw up. Like I couldn't stop throwing up. Like I thought I was dying. Like I thought I was just gonna not stop throwing up, but then I would stop. And like every probably 15 20 minutes I would throw up again. And I was thinking, what's wrong with me? And I finally got some sleep and I stopped throwing up. It's just that the whole day I was dizzy and exhausted. Like that's what the whole day was for me. But I got better and it didn't bother me then. But then later on, during the Christmas break just started. Then for some reason, I started drinking a lot of water. Like I was constantly thirsty. I wouldn't like water bottles wouldn't even last long with me. Like most people take like 2 or 3 sips and don't touch the water for a bit. Me, I was drinking more water than I should be. I was drinking like around 5 bottles a day. Like in one day, I'll drink like 5 bottles. That was crazy. And like I was thinking, I'm probably just dehydrated because it's cold out and we're all in for the Christmas holidays. So I was thinking, okay, it's not gonna bother me. It'll probably just go away pretty soon. But no, it just got worse and worse. Then after that, I was constantly hungry. Like, I couldn't stop eating. And then and later on, another couple weeks later, I started going to the bathroom a lot. Like every probably 15 minutes, I'd be going to the bathroom. And then I was thinking, what's wrong? What's going on? And then there'd be days when school started back up again. I was just tired. Like I'd go to bed for some reason. Usually I'd go to bed late, but then I was going to bed like around 8 o'clock, which was odd because I don't go to bed at 8 o'clock. I go to bed like around 10:30 or close to 11 o'clock. But sorry, I'm yawning. Huh. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about the yawn. That's what it was. Like I was tired. And I would wake up not feeling tired. I would feel full of energy, but then during school I would just be exhausted. Like not even when first class ends. Before first class ends, I would be just exhausted, tired. And if the teachers were talking, I would just want to fall asleep right there at the spot. And then I started feeling weak, like I didn't have a lot of energy like I used to. And I didn't know what was going on. Then my mom noticed all these symptoms and all that, and she's looking at me thinking, maybe you have diabetes or something. And I'm like, what? Like she was thinking that I probably have diabetes or I got diabetes. Yeah, like I was thinking maybe it's just something that's going on, and she's like, could be. Like she was a nurse during this time, but now she works with helping people find careers and make resumes and all that stuff. Uh, so what happened was she got to work, brought a meter home. This was on the day of my uncle's birthday. Like he wasn't having a party or nothing. Uh, she checked it. My sugar was 27, and I was thinking, okay, probably because I just ate, so we'll just wait a couple minutes or something for my insulin to work or kick in my pancreas. That did happen. It went up to 29, and then my mom said like, okay, you gotta go to the hospital because your something's going on. And I'm like, okay. And she told me to get some stuff like a charger, my phone charger, my PS Vita charger, my game, to see if I have to stay in the hospital. So what they did was that they took me in. I waited an hour to see a nurse, so she could uh, get some blood and do some blood tests. Nurse came back, says I have type 1 diabetes. Like I got diagnosed right there. And then they just gave me a shot of insulin and sent me home. Like they didn't say nothing, like to check on my sugar or nothing. They just sent me home. And I'm thinking, shouldn't I just stay there? My mom agreed with me too that I should have stayed, but no. So then the next day, I went back to the hospital, got put in the, I don't know what the care unit was called, or whatever, the department or whatever, at the hospital, I can't remember. But I was put there, and like, I was just upset, I was scared, didn't know what to do, what was going to happen. I don't know if I was going to die, or if I was going to live, or I was going to be stuck in the hospital. And the whole time there, like, the nurses would come in, introduce themselves, I'll just nod, or sometimes just nod, say hello. And like the whole time I was there, like it would just be me and my mom, but I wouldn't really talk. Like after once when I found out I was diagnosed, I just sat at the window and just stare out the window with like a sad grin on my face. And just thinking in my head like, what did I do to do this? Why does like God have to give me this? Like that's what I was thinking in my mind. And like the diabetes clinic saw me and they were talking how young I was getting diagnosed and how much more people like have habits and all that stuff. Like if you have a certain habit, you're stuck on the habit. It's hard to get rid of, and that was the case. Like I had like bad habits of eating a lot of junk food, and like I was thinking maybe it's all the junk food I ate that like made my pancreas stop producing insulin or something, or I just killed it or something. But the doctors kept telling me that it type 2, if that was the case, I would have had type 2 instead of type 1. Type 2, you do it on yourself. It's all your habits. Type 1 just happens automatically, or it just happens in your life. And like, I have a cousin that has diabetes, and I also have a co-worker that has diabetes too. But they had it longer than I did. My cousin was diagnosed when she was like, I think 5 or 4. But my co-worker, I just can't remember. I don't know when he was diagnosed, but he has diabetes too. And my dad's mom had type 2. And like, that's how, like, you don't, like, diabetes don't pass down in your family. People think it does, but it doesn't. It's just something that just happens in life. So like they showed me like how to like eat, like watch carbs, sugar, all that stuff. Like if there's fiber in the food, the carbs on the top, say if there's 5 carbs, no, not 5 carbs, 24 carbs, and there's say 6 fiber. You take 25, or I said 24, 25, 24, take away 6. That's how much carbs would be in it. That's what I would do. So let's get back to the hospital story. and like they were talking about, like, I knew I was gonna stay there for a while, but I don't know how long. And like the problem was is that I didn't want to be there. I didn't really want this to happen to me. Like, most people are scared to get like cancer or something, like, because cancer is a big thing, and so is like other diseases. But I didn't want none of that stuff. But I got diabetes, and diabetes is way different from cancer. And they would ask me like these questions, like, do I smoke, do I drink, and all that stuff, and I kept saying no. And it's different too for diabetes for people that want to drive like I do. What you have to do before you start driving is you check your sugar before you drive, and if it's a good range, you're good to go. But if it's not, you can't drive. Because everyone must hear on like the news or something that a person died in a car accident or went to diabetic coma because their sugar went low when they were driving, and that's what I have to stop for. Even if I'm on like a road trip and like I feel low, I have to pull over, turn the car off, and check my sugar, and then just wait till it goes up. And if it's a good range, then I just keep going. And that's what it has to be too. And when I was in the hospital, they would show me like what to do if your sugar's low or what to do if it's high, and what ranges I should keep in. Like, I shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be like all over the place like they told me. They said it needs to be like even or equal, because most people, their sugars are like all over the place because they're not taking care of themselves. They told me that like I'm tall for my age, I'm 6 foot, and that's because my sugars are in the good range. If they're like in the bad range, I wouldn't grow a lot. Like they said that if your sugars are in the bad, like all over the place, you wouldn't grow a lot. And I was thinking, oh, I didn't know that. Even like after the thing, I would just, even after seeing them, talking to them, like I'll just be my normal self and just say okay or yes, I understand this, and I always ask, like if I have questions, I'll ask questions. Then once I got up to my hotel room, I just, not my hotel room, what am I even saying? My hospital room or whatever. I would just sit at the window and stare at the window. That's all I did. Like, I was quiet. If the nurses would ask me if I need anything, I'll just shake my head no or just nod yes if I need something. And that's what it was. And like, I was just like really still scared of my life. Like, even though if they told me it was going to be alright, I was still scared. Like, they'll say, like, everything's going to be alright, you're going to be fine. I just, well, like, I just agreed with them, but in my head, I was like, I'm not going to be okay. That's what I legit said in my head. And, well, it was emotional too. Like, there'll be like some days, like, if I'm sleeping and then I wake up in the night and I go to the bathroom, I'll just be like, use the bathroom, but then I'll just put the toilet, like the whole toilet, the toilet, and the toilet lid, and I'll sit there on the toilet and start crying. Like, I would be like crying in there for a little bit, then I'll go back to bed. Even if my mom wasn't around, I would like start crying a little bit too. And then like people come visit me, say hello, and I'll be happy that they came to see me. But the main person that stayed at the hospital with me was my mom. Like, she wanted me to be okay. Like, I wasn't alone. Like, she understand what I was going through. And there's one thing that she said that I kept inside, and I know I'm probably gonna cry in a second because I could feel my eyes starting to get watery. Like, she stayed there. My dad would stay home with my brother and my sister. Like, my mom would stay to make sure I'm okay. Like, she knew I was going through like a lot of emotions there that day. Like, there'll be days I'll be sad and happy, and then back to sad, or like really really upset. And then she tells me that I'm sorry you got this disease, and I'm like, Yeah, I know. And then she told me that she told me this, and I kept it locked away because this is the worst that she said to me when I was sitting there by myself, really upset. She's like, I wish you didn't get it. She said, I wish I did instead. And I said, you shouldn't wish that upon yourself. And she's like, but I really want you and I have it. You to have it. And I hate crying. Like, I'm not that much of a emotional person, but talking about this story makes me like really emotional. Like, but it's a video. It's gonna happen either way. Like in the future. And then like, she told me that I was just like, I just smiled at her, just looked back out the window. And then like they told me this part too, that I could sign like a little sheet to get out of the hospital and then go home for a bit, then go back. And that cheered me up a little bit, that I can go home, sit around or watch some TV or something like that, play my PlayStation, do all that stuff. And then like when I went to go see like the diabetes dietitians or traditions or whatever, I'm getting words mixed up now because I'm like trying to keep the water not running from my eyes. The big question I asked was, will my kids in the future be affected by this? They said it's not a high risk, but it's a pretty low risk, like 50% that could get it, but not a whole lot, which isn't that bad. And I even asked like different doctors too, like my family doctor. He says some kids that like if you got diagnosed at age 11, your kids will have a higher risk, but if you're past age 11, your kids will have a low risk. So I passed. Well, I'm past age 11 right now. I'm only 17. So like they don't have a high risk. They have a pretty low risk, which I was like, okay. Because I know for a fact that I don't want my kids living with this disease because it's hard to live with sometimes. And then I would ask them, like, would I be able to eat certain foods or something like that? Because, like, I love to eat, like, chips and all that stuff. They said, yeah, I can eat chips, but I have to eat it at, like, certain times. Like, I can't have it, like, all the time. I can only have it, like, as a treat or something. Same thing with candy. But I'm not much of a candy guy that much now. Like, I'll eat it once in a while, but then I'll just, like, if I want to eat it again, I'll just go, like, nah, I don't feel like it. And I have to drink, like, Diet Pop. Diet Pop is, like, quite different from regular pop because there's no sugar. But there's certain pops that taste the same. Like, Diet Mountain Dew and regular Mountain Dew, they taste the same. The Diet Dr. Pepper and regular Dr. Pepper taste the same. Root beer tastes the same. Then, Orange Crush tastes the same. Like, all the diet drinks sometimes taste the same. Diet Coke is different from regular Coke. Coke Zero tastes different too. And then, like, let's get back to the hospital stories. So what they did was they kept me in for a week, and then I was basically ready to go. They gave me, like, certain things to go with the keep. They gave me this meter, which is a couple months old, because I had to get a new one, because for some reason the date for my sugars was being messed up. So what I have to do is I have to use these, I don't know if you can see it, these things right here. I have to put them in the machine, which I'll demonstrate you right now because I was supposed to check my sugar like a while ago, but I decided to make this video. Put that, I don't know where my alcohol swabs are, but you have to rub your finger to get rid of all the dirt and all that stuff. But I washed my hands before this. So I'll squeeze the blood, and I'll show, I don't know if you can see it, but it's probably, yeah, it's pretty bright. It'll show, like, the strip, and then your finger, like, what end you want to do. So I'm going to do this end right quick. And there's paper towel. And my sugar is 10.9, or nothing. And sometimes it'll show there's my paper towel. And sometimes it will show green or something like that. Like, it shows red, but it's supposed to be green because it's in the good range. It's not in the high range. That's what I'm supposed to keep it between 10 and 5. Because if it hits 4.2, that's close to being low. 4.1's close to low. Like, sometimes in the 4s, you'll feel the low symptoms. Like, the low symptoms are shaking, sweaty, dizziness, and blurry vision. And even, like, diabetes affects your eyes, so I have to get my eyes checked, like, a lot of times. But that's what I have to do. I have to watch my eyes, too. And the hard part is, too, if I get a cut, I have to watch it. I have to make sure it heals. If it doesn't heal, it can get affected. I remember I got a cut on my foot, and I was watching it every day to see if it was healing, and it didn't look like it was healing at all. Like, I couldn't see, like, the skin trying to, like, connect it. So I told my mom, she's like, okay, if it doesn't heal within next week, you might have to go to the hospital. And I'm like, okay. And then after that, it just got healed, and I was like, okay, that's good. Because I don't want to get an infection on my foot. Like, that's what they told me. I have to watch out for my feet. And I also have to watch out for my needle spots. Like, I get these, like, big lumps for not changing the spot for my injections. And here's one needle. This is a long-acting one. Some people have long-acting ones. For me, I do. I only take this once a day. And then this one is the main one, the Humalog. I take this 4 times a day. Like, I'll take it for breakfast, lunch, supper, and a snack. Like, I'll have a snack before I go to bed, and I'll take insulin for it. That's what I do. And I have to use these little, I'll close it, these little needles. And I have to throw them into a bucket. I'll just put that there for right now. So I'll throw them in a bucket. And then when I got out of the hospital, I was happy to be home, but I was still upset that I have to live with this. And then once when that was over, I went back to school, and I was just being the normal person. Like, I'm still a normal person to everybody, but I just have one thing different that most people don't have, is, like, diabetes and stuff. Like, it doesn't change who I am, but people will find it, like, they don't want to, like, some people will just be rude to, like, diabetics and all that stuff, but that's their opinion. If somebody wants to be rude, they can be rude, but, like, if they want to be rude, they chose to be rude to the diabetic. There's no reason to be rude. They're no different from you. Just because they have diabetes doesn't mean that they're a different person. Like, if a person was gay and you're making fun of them for being gay, there's no reason to just do that. You must have a reason why you're doing it. Like me, I would never make fun of anybody, like, ever, because there's no point. You're not making yourself feel better for making that person feel bad about themselves. You're gonna make yourself worse. Like, I never picked on nobody in my life because there's no need to. And there's certainly no reason for people in the world to pick on a person because of this thing. You have to have a reason why. And, like, when I first got back to school, my friends were happy to see me before I went back to school, I broke the news to everybody that I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Everyone was shocked. A lot of my friends were shocked. My family that I never told yet. And no one looked at me any different. Like, people would ask me questions, what do I have to do and all that stuff. And there'll be, like, sometimes I'll get, like, very emotional at school. Like that, if I see a thing that I want to eat but I can't eat it, and I just have to accept it. There'll be, like, sometimes that my friends right now, like, I only have this disease for, like, 2 years already, which is crazy. My friends would ask me, do you get emotional when people eat different stuff? I say, not a lot. And, like, my friends would, there'll be days where I'll be like, I don't really mind. And there'll be days where I feel really upset and I can't eat this. And, like, my brother, like, understands that it's not fun to, like, joke around and go, like, hey, I can eat this and you can't. Like, he actually did that before and I felt really upset. Like, And let me go back to my friend's story real quick. Like, they would tell me, we're sorry. Like, they'll say, I'm sorry. And then I'm like, for what? And they'll go, like, for eating this in front of me. I'm like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I, I can eat that too, but I just gotta take a little bit more insulin for it. There's probably like only one time I wanted to break down and cry. Was like, probably, I don't know, I can't remember what day it was, but they were eating something that I really liked, like, before I was diagnosed. And I felt like a little bit upset. Like, I just wanted to go, like, leave the area and start crying because I was really upset. But I didn't. I just try to hide my emotions. Like, most people don't like showing their emotions. Like me, I don't like showing them a lot, but I'll show them to certain people. Like, I have good friends, and I have the friends that don't really give a crap. But the most friends I tell about my emotions are the good friends, and then like probably like 1% of like the non good friends or whatever. But most, like, if I'm hanging out with them, they'll check in on me. Like, do you need to check your sugar? We could stop right quick, or all that. Like, if I'm low, they'll ask me if they need me, or they'll. Well, if I'm low, I'll repeat myself. Sorry. If I'm low, they'll ask me, "Do you want us to buy you anything? Do you need a drink or nothing?" I'll say, "No, no, no. I got sugar tablets." And that's another thing that they gave me, but I don't know where I put them. They're probably in my gym bag. I just gotta look for my gym bag. They're like these little circle things. It's kind of like this thing, but it's like a little bit smaller. Like, let me see here. It's kind of like a little circle smaller, something like that. It's little sugar tablets. They're called glucose tablets sometimes. People call them sugar tablets, glucose tablets, don't really matter. I have to eat four of them to bring the sugar up. But if I'm home, I don't really want to eat them. I'll just go in the fridge and get like juice or pop or something that has sugar in to bring it up. And then I gotta wait 15 minutes. And then once when the 15 minutes is up, I'll check it again. And if it's good, I'll eat something to keep it up. Or if it's low, I gotta treat it again. There'll be like odd times where my sugar will go low and then it stays low and I can't bring it up. There's like only one time it stayed like that. It was like 2.6, and I drank apple juice, waited 15 minutes, it went up to like 3 point nothing, and then I drank another apple juice and it went up to 6, and I was like, okay, finally it went up. Because sometimes it won't want to go up. Like, it'll want to try to stay down. Like, it's really weird. And like, another thing about this is that I'm stuck with this until probably there's a cure or until the day I die. And like, I know people have the pump, but I'm not getting the pump because I heard like bad things about, like, it malfunctions sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't produce your insulin. Like, sometimes the wires will like get stuck or don't want to produce your insulin. And that's the thing that worries me sometimes. So I don't really want that. Like, I'm used to just sticking myself with a needle. Like, I'm not scared of needles no more. I was before, but now, since I've been doing it for 2 years, I'm used to it. But it's just going to be weird because in November, I'm getting a tattoo, and it's going to be weird. Like, I know that, like, my friend told me that, like, the tattoo needle is probably the same size as this needle, like, without the plastic thing on it. That's what she told me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'll probably, that stuff. I just gotta make sure that I'm not allergic to them, like the tattoo needles. And I have to make sure that nothing will happen to my skin. And I gotta see if it heals when I get it done. Because I'm getting it, like, on my arm, like my shoulder up here. I'm only getting one for right now to see if I like it. If I like it, I'll probably start a sleeve. I don't know. Okay, so let me think real quick. We discussed a lot in this video, which is more than I expected. Hopefully YouTube doesn't take it down. They took on the last one. They never gave me email. They just took it down. I don't know why. But this is a very emotional topic to talk about sometimes to me. Like, there'll be days where I'll think about this and then I'll start crying. And hoping that there'll be one day, like, my wish right now is hopefully waking up one day and finding out that there's a cure for this. If there's a cure, I'll probably do something to raise money and get it. But the thing that confuses me is that once when a person dies, they use their organs to make cures for these other diseases, but they don't use the pancreas for like pancreas transplants. Like, that's weird. They should do that. Like if a person dies, they don't really need their organs that much, so they use them for like, I don't know, doing cures and all that. Why don't they just take the pancreas and do pancreas transplants? Or try to use that to make a cure for this diabetes or something like that. I don't know. But guys, I hope you do enjoy this video. If you do, please leave a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.